Comrade Zwanele Nyonso Umtelile requested me that when I speak here this afternoon, I also should speak on his behalf. So when you see me standing here, don't be misled, you are seeing two persons. It is me and Comrade President Nyonso standing here. So I will also be speaking on his behalf. Comrades, we are walking forward. We are marching forward. We are rolling forward. We are running forward. There is no way that PAC and Azapo and PAC will go backwards. We are marching forward. We are making a statement this afternoon because our leaders, our forebears wanted us to sit in this manner. Can you understand? Can you imagine how Sobuka feels when his children are gathered in this manner? Can you imagine how Steve Biko feels when his children are gathered in this manner? Can you just imagine that? Can you just imagine that? You should understand, because in 1975, Steve Biko violated his banning orders. He could have gone to jail. He could have been captured on the road. He could have vanished. He could have been killed. He could have disappeared. Why was he doing that in 1975? Why was he prepared to die in 1975, violating, defying banning orders? It's because he wanted to be together with Sobukwe. He wanted to be special. And so in 1975, Steve Biko drove all the way and went to Kimberley to meet Prof. To meet Prof. I don't know what. In 1975. Now, in 1975, there was a meeting of this nature. In 1975, there was a meeting between the BCM and the PAC. Between Steve Biko and Mangaliso Miracles. So, why can't we have this meeting when our own leaders had this meeting? Why is it wrong today when we have this meeting? Why is it wrong that when we come together? Why is it wrong when the people of this country, the people of this continent, the people of the world, the people in the diaspora want the PAC and Azapo to come in this fashion? Why would that be wrong? Of course, there are people who don't like it when we meet in this fashion because they know what it means when we meet in this fashion. The enemy doesn't like it when we meet in this fashion. Our haters don't like it when Sobukwe and people meet in this fashion. Our detractors, those who would have wanted us to die yesterday, those who would not even give us resources, those who would not even come to even cover this gathering so that the millions of the people of this world can see this, don't want us to meet in this fashion. So comrades, can we come to our senses and understand that it is Biko and Sobukwe who first met in this fashion? We are following on their footsteps when we meet in this fashion. morning, the leadership of Azapo and the PAC did what they have to do. We went to the Evelyn Cemetery. What did we do there? We laid the reeds, and those reeds were the symbolism of communicating to our martyrs, communicating to our forebears that we shall never forget them. We shall never forget them. We started at the young children of Zeph, Mutupin, Comrades Yeti and Sahul. We laid the reed. After that we went to their father, Comrade Zeph Mutupin. After that we went to their father, Comrade Ganya. We laid the reed. From there, we went to Hastings and Lowe. We laid the reed. From there, we went to Zolile Peterson. We laid the reed. Why did we do that? Were we wasting our time when we did that? Not at all. Because Steve Biko has taught us that a nation that forgets its martyrs will itself be forgotten. A nation that forgets its martyrs will itself be forgotten. That's why we went there. And then when we arrived at the grave of Zolile Hector Peterson, I released my tears. Why did I do that? Because I noticed that that tombstone is not the original tombstone. That tombstone is not the original tombstone. The original tombstone of Hector Peterson had on it, engraved on it, the Black Power fist. It also had the slogan, "One Azania, one nation, one people." But when I read it today, this morning, Azania is gone. Azania has been erased. There's no longer Azania on the grave of Hector Peterson. Do you know why? In 1986, on the eve of June 16, that grave, the original grave tombstone, was vandalized. And that vandalism was blamed on poor black people. And yet we knew that that was a lie. That tombstone was vandalized by corrupt politicians who wanted to distort history, who wanted to erase history. Because at the moment on which that tombstone was vandalized, immediately there was a philanthropist from America donating an already made tombstone without Azania. So as you are sleeping, people are erasing your history. That's what we are talking about this morning. Comrades, let me say to you, as we are gathered here like we are doing, don't forget that just a month ago, there were 49 white hobos who went to America, and they went to America to blame you, to accuse you that you had killed all white people in this country, yet they were still there. Yet they were still on our airports, our own airports. Yet they were traveling in our own skies, Azanian skies, African skies. Yet they were urinating on us black people in this country. These are the people who committed genocide in the land wars in this country against black people. These are the people who committed genocide against black people in Shuffle, 1960. These are the people who committed genocide against black people in 1819, the Nome River, the Blood River. These are the people who committed genocide against black people in 1976. These are the people who stole all our mines. These are the people who stole all our wealth. These are the people who stole our everything. We are sitting here with nothing. We are sitting here with an empty stomach. We are going to live here. We don't know where we're going to sleep. We don't know what we're going to eat. We don't know who's going to receive us anymore. We don't even know if they are still alive. We might find them dead, and their death might be blamed on TB. Yet there is no disease called TB in the world except South Africa and in the black community, because TB is the disease of black poor people, nobody else. We might go back at home, we might find them dead, and when they're dead, their death might be blamed on cholera. There is no cholera in the world. The technology of South Africa, our Azania, is very advanced. There is no reason why black people should be dying of cholera, but yet in this country, black people and only black people are still dying of cholera, and we are told that cholera happens because a person who comes from the ruling party, who was given a tender, was paid even before he made the work, and after that he did not do the work, and we are told that our feces, our dung, they mixed with our water, and in Hammerscroll, black people were drinking water that is mixed with their toilet, and as a result of that, we died of cholera. We died of cholera as a result of that. We must pick the states, because if we don't do, nobody else will do. It is us and only us who must speak about these things. And these 49 hobos, they fly through our skies. What happens after that? We are blamed of having killed them when they are there already. What happens after that? The leaders of this country, they run and rush to America to apologize. With their tails between their legs, with their heads collapsed and compressed. They rushed to America. And they did not even rush there. Before they went there, Trump chose their delegation. Trump said to them, I'm going to tell you who I'm going to meet, and it's your delegation. I want you to be led by Rupert. I want you to be led by some rugby people and whatever. And all the white people. And I was not there. So when they were there, they started apologizing. When they were there, they started crying. When they were there, they started licking the boots of Trump. When they were there, they started kissing Trump all over, even in places where really not even a fly would go there. Then they came back. When they came back, we were told that these are farmers. Where in the world have you ever seen a farmer leaving their property to go to another country for food parcels? Where in the world have you ever seen that? Where in the world have you ever seen that? And that's the reason why we are saying to this country, we reject the concept and the principle of food security. We ascribe and we are demanding and we are going that way because we have always lived like that. Food sovereignty, not food security. Food sovereignty, where we ourselves plant the field and then we grow our own fields. And we feed ourselves. And they went in that direction. Have you seen what happened yesterday? Have you seen what happened yesterday? Yesterday, the whole day, and last week on your TV screens were our own children, were our gallant fighters, were our own soldiers. And we respect them, and we salute them. We respect them, we salute them. When they came back, they were not in the whole number that they left here. When they left here, 14 of them have died in the DRC. They were humiliated in the DRC. They were surrounded in the DRC. They had to go and beg the people who they were told was their enemy. Yet those people were never their enemy in the first place. They were never their enemy in the first place. And we are asking, as Azapo and the PAC, why did SANDF soldiers had to go to the DRC in the first place? That's the question I want to ask. Why? And the government tells us, no, they went there to keep force. In Azapo and the PAC, we say, oh, thank you. They went there to keep force, to keep peace. Thank you. Say it again, they went there to keep peace. Oh, thank you. So they were a peacekeeping force. The government says yes, and we say thank you. And then we say to them, as Azapo and the PAC, where in the world have you ever seen a peacekeeping force deployed to a warring nation? A peacekeeping force is never sent to where there is war. A peacekeeping force is sent to a land or a nation where there is peace to keep the peace. That is why they keep a peacekeeping force. Peacekeeping force. Peacekeeping force. What peace did SANDF soldiers went to keep where there was war? What peace did they go there to keep? Tell us. They can't tell us. They can't tell us because they sent our children, our soldiers, our siblings, our brothers and sisters to go and die at the DRC to do what? To protect the mineral interests in Congo of some South African politicians. They weren't going there to keep any peace, but they went there to keep and protect the mineral interests of some political elites in this country. And as a result of that, our soldiers were humiliated. But did you see, have you looked at the places they were coming back? Did you look at them? Are we not told that this is a non-racial country? Yes, we are. If this is a non-racial country, why is it that at the DRC only black soldiers were deployed? Why is it that only black soldiers were deployed? Are we not told that this is a rainbow nation? If it is a rainbow nation, where is the Rainbow Army? Why in the Rainbow Nation only black soldiers are deployed to the DRC? And yesterday they were humiliated and they came back, and then my eyes, the bloodshot will come. Right now again, we are seeing and we are told that in this country, your money, your taxpayers' money will be spent on what? On what? On something, an animal that is called the national dialogue. Your money, your taxpayers' money is going to be spent in this country, millions of them, on an animal called the national dialogue. And as Azapo was saying, we're not going to shoot this animal down. We won't do that. Because probably our people want to see and listen to this animal. So we won't shoot it down. However, let us declare this afternoon that as Azapo, we are skeptical of the animal called national dialogue. We are skeptical of the animal called the national dialogue. We're skeptical because who is calling this national dialogue? The people who are calling this national dialogue are the same troublemakers. They are the same people who are causing the problem. Yet they cause the problem and they still want to dictate what will be the solution. Look at the people they are calling. They call them eminent person. What does eminence mean? When all of us as black people are oppressed at the same level, if the poor are not oppressed more than the others, what does eminent? Look at the eminent people who are there. Sianda Polisi, he's playing rugby. What is he eminent about? Look at all the words. Ruth Mayer, what is he eminent about over you? Ruth Mayer is the person who delivered this rotten constitution that we're complaining about. A constitution that said South Africa belongs to all who lives in it. It is Ruth Mayer who delivered that constitution. A constitution that a law that has a section 25 clause that starts by saying people will not be robbed of their property. What nonsense is that? How can you rob me of my property? And when I write the constitution, I start by saying I will not take my property back. I write it in the constitution. Who wrote the constitution? It cannot be you. Therefore, we know it is. And now Ruth Mayer is the eminent person in the national dialogue. Look again. We are telling you as Azapo this afternoon. We're skeptical of this national dialogue animal. Why are we skeptical over and above what we have said? We're skeptical because the June 16 uprising was the highest national dialogue can ever be in this country. There is no other national dialogue that surpasses the June 16 uprising, where we bled and died. In fact, we don't even believe in the concept of dialogue. What works better for us is the national and the revolutionary duel. There's a difference between a duel and a dialogue. A duel is where you take out your gun, I take out mine, and we fight for what belongs to me. That's a duel. That's war, that's a fight. What talking do we have to do more than the talking that we did in 1960? What talking do we have to do more than the talking that we did in Britain? What talking do we have to do more than the talking that we did? The workers who died in 2016. What more talking? What more talking do we have to do more than the talking that we did in 1976? What talking more talking do we have to do when we are sitting here without any voice? What more talking do we have to do? What more talking? What more talking do we have to do? You don't have a voice, and even when you speak, they switch off the mic. What talking do we have to do? When you talk, nobody is listening. What talking do you have to do? When you have to talk, you have no energy. You are so hungry, so starving. What talking do you have to do? And who is listening? And who cares? Who cares? And so that's the reason why we know that their national dialogue is nothing else but a neoliberal monologue. neoliberal monologue. A monologue is when you talk alone. You talk and you speak alone and you speak to yourself, and they are not speaking to us, they are speaking to themselves. That's a monologue. It's not a dialogue. And they move to the national dialogue. We are now told that after they spent millions and millions and millions of your money, the taxpayers' money, those of you who are sitting here starving, hungry, homeless, sitting here, are also telling us that now they've extended the concept of the national dialogue. After the national dialogue, there will now be what? A national convention. That's what we are told. Immediately when they said that, my blood started boiling. Convention. Hey, come on, Sabue. Hey, come on, Bigo. Come on, Tiro. Come on, Mutupi. Where did I hear this concept of the national convention? It sounds familiar to me. Where did I hear it first? Someone talk to me. Bigo, talk to me. If you don't want to shout, whisper it to me. Where did I first hear this concept of a national convention? And I look back. In 1908 and 1909, in this country, there was a national convention. And that national convention, it was when the British colonies, all of them, came together. And where were we in the national convention? There was no blackness in the national convention. There was only whiteness in the National Convention. So when you talk about the National Convention, hey, you make me mad because you are telling me that I'm going to be excluded in that National Convention because the National Convention has got nothing to do with me. It never had. It will not be. And in 1909, 1908, 1909, there was the National Convention. What did it do? The National Convention of 1908 and 1909 brought about what? The Union of South Africa in 1910. The Union of South Africa in a hey! Don't sit there and rejoice. You've got nothing to do. You were not part of the National Convention and you were not part of the Union because you were united out of the Union. And there's a symbol of the Union of South Africa. What did they do? Whiteness, which excluded blackness, built the Union buildings. They built the Union buildings. Why? Because they were celebrating their come together as white people and agreeing to take your land, oppress you, colonize you, enslave you. The Union was all about that, the dispossession of your land, and then they built the Union buildings. Comes democracy, what do? All of you reaping and stamping and then racing to occupy the Union building and still keep it as the Union building of colonialism, of racists, of oppressors. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You cannot even, okay, you don't want to change the name of the country to what it used to be, Asenia. Okay, you don't want to, because you don't want to make white people angry. But why can't you change a stone, building a room from the Union which insults you into the Union of black people? The unity of black people, the black solidarity of black people. Why can't you do that? Something as small as that. And so that is why we are saying to you this afternoon. We will go and check the animal are skeptical of the national dialogue because we believe, we suspect it is a neoliberal monologue. We are suspicious of the national convention that they are talking about because there was once a national convention which excluded white people because it was based on the dispossession of the land of black people, colonialism, white racism, whatever you can think of, and slavery of black people. So we are skeptical. What are we calling about as Azapo and the PAC? As Azapo and the PAC, we are saying, people of Azania, the Azanian people, African people, you must understand one thing. Understand one thing. Elections is not the sole and the only side of struggle. Be careful if you think that your struggle has degenerated and been reduced to wanting to fight for seats in parliament and nothing beyond that. Be careful, because if you do that, you shall have sold out your people. You shall have sold out the land if you do that. Our struggle is a struggle for land repossession. Our struggle is a struggle for land repossession. That is what we died for, that is what we bled for, that is what we struggled for, that's what we went to exile for. That is what Steve Biko, Solukwe, Tiro, Mutupin died for. There is no way in which Solukwe and Biko could have died for a ballot, just for a ballot. Throwing a ballot into a box. Steve Biko dies for that. Throwing a paper into a box where you don't even see what's inside. Someone dies for that. There is no way. It is not true. If anybody here is telling you that's what our struggle is all about, hey, check it out. You must get out of here. Our struggle is for the restoration of the dignity of black people, the restoration of the humanity of black people. That can only come about if we repossess our land. That can only come about if we reclaim and redistribute our wealth. That can only come about if we ensure that we are in charge of our destiny in our own country of our four places. And that is why we are saying to you, if in the national dialogue they are talking about there is no land, if there is no wealth, if there is no food security, if there is no education as a priority for our people and our children, then there is nothing. We must kick it out. It's not for us. We want to see that, and we will go there. That's what we will dictate we want to see. That's what we want to see. And as I sit down, I want to say to you, let's after Azapo and the PAC and Azapo are aware that Parliament is not the only side of struggle. Parliament is only one among many sides of struggle. That is struggle that takes place in the communities, not in Parliament. All you find in Parliament is dialogue, nothing. And in fact, that dialogue is the monologue of the bourgeoisie, the white ruling class. The dialogue that we need as Azapo and the PAC is the dialogue with our people in the township, the dialogue with our people in the rural areas, the dialogue with our people in the mines, the dialogue with our children that are lying and starving to die in the streets, the dialogue that we need to have, it's the dialogue with their ancestors, our ancestors in our graves. That's the dialogue that we need, and that's why Azapo and the PAC are calling for the Azanian Liberation Front. We're calling for the Azanian Liberation Front. We are saying the cooperation between the PAC and Azapo is not enough, can never be enough. We want the totality of involvement of black people. We want all progressive forces under the roof and on the platform of the Azanian Liberation Front. All those organizations that seem to be lost out there must come back and be with us under the roof and on the platform of the Azanian Liberation Front. And what is it going to do? It is not only going to be there to fight for votes. Of course, that will be part of the thing. But more and over, above that, the objectives and the goals and the program of the Azanian Liberation Front, first of all and foremost, is liberation itself, the repossession of the land, the repossession of our wealth, and ensure that we rule ourselves because we're our own liberators. And in this country, we must not be told about other people and about by foreigners who we are and who we are not. The Azanian Liberation Front, please write it down. Azanian Liberation Front is what Azapo and the PAC, when they get out of here, and then we go to ensure that we build. Why do we do that? It's because we are aware as Azapo and the PAC that you can't beat them in their own game. It's going to be very difficult to beat them in elections because elections require money. And who's got the money is Roberto Oppenheimer. Is he going to give the money to you? No. So therefore, what you are going to see in elections, it is not the will of the people, but it is the will of the donors, and the donors are the white ruling class, Rupert and Obama. So therefore, if Azapo and PAC are chasing that, and then you forget about the struggle in the communities, you forget about the struggle in the agricultural field, you are chasing a mirage. You know that image when the sun is very hot, you see like there's something moving and bending there, and every time you get closer, it gets furthest and furthest. We will be chasing a mirage. So let's get together and build the Azanian Liberation Front, repossess our land, reclaim our wealth, and that will ensure that there is food sovereignty. We don't depend on white people to plant our own food. Never shall ever be like that.